Hey everybody, my name's Kevin Webb, and I just got back from Twilio's Signal conference. And one of the amazing things that they gave us developers was their first Narrowband IoT developer kit. And I can't wait to go through that with you all right now. Let's get hacking.
Here's the Narrowband IoT kit created by Twilio in partnership with T-Mobile. As listed on the back of this box, you'll see a push button, the antenna for the LTE. It's plugged up right there where the LTE connector is. You'll see a battery here, USB connector, a temperature and humidity sensor, an ultrasonic range sensor, and the SIM. As mentioned before, T-Mobile partnered with Twilio on this narrowband project. Currently, my SIM card is in my board, and just go through these instructions to activate that SIM. So we're currently on the console. I created a free account with Twilio, so I'm on the trial. To get to this register a starter SIM, we're gonna go over here. We're gonna click on programmable wireless, click on SIMs, and then here in SIMs on the top left, you're gonna click on that red cross and click on register a SIM. As I showed before, on the card on the back, there's a registration code. You put the registration code in, click register SIM card, give it a unique name, leave it the rate plan as default, and then activate your SIM. And then maybe after a minute or two, it should activate. I had a few problems with activating the SIM card. I was pretty diligent, so I kept on changing it from new to activate. It kept on looping back to new. I was about to give up and ask because there was TAs in my presence, but thankfully just reiterating and continually to press activate and then continue, it finally activated after 2 or 3 times. And then after a minute or two, and it should be active, you should be able to go back to the screen and see that it's active on the right under status. Together. First, we're gonna start with the SIM card. As you see, this is not normally pushed out. That's one way to get the SIM card out, but normally it's pushed in. A little forewarning, there's 2 slots, and the first slot on the top is the micro SD. The slot that we're aiming for is the one that's beneath it. So with the board like this, the micro SD should go in like this. Notice the little notch right here. This is how it's going to be entered. And you're going to push it in there, and it should fit nice and tight in there. The next thing will be this antenna that will connect to the LTE connector. Now I already plugged it in, but what it looks like without it being connected, it looks like this. And so it's just gonna snap on with a little bit of pressure. The next thing that we're gonna plug in is this battery. It's gonna go next to the micro USB. Let's see how this is going to get in there. There it is. All right, everybody, we are back on our computers. What we're going to do next is download the driver support for this kit, and also we're going to get the Arduino Ide ready. So, 2 things I want to note before we get heavy in it. You probably want to restart your computer after installing this driver, and also I'm going through the instructions for OS X, for Windows 10 or Ubuntu. I'm going to post a link for the instructions to get this driver. So for the Mac, I'm gonna assume that you have Homebrew
please download Homebrew. It is a great program to allow you to download packages and software. For this instance, it makes it so much easier to download this one in this case. So on the screen, you'll see the install command brew install dfu-util lib usb. So I'm going to press enter and we're going to let that sit. As you can see, after that, it's just stating to me that everything's already installed and up to date. And yeah, at this point, once everything's downloaded for you, you would want to restart your computer. Else, some things may be a little wonky when you're going into these next few steps. So what we're going to get into now is we're going to install board support for the development board. So we're going to go ahead and plug up this micro USB. Let's see. Well, where is it? Ah, there it is. All right, so we're going to plug up the micro USB to the board and then plug the other side to your computer on the other end of the USB. Let's go ahead and open up the Arduino Ide. Coming up. And so what you want to do once Arduino comes up, we're going to go to Arduino and then we're going to click on Preferences. And you're going to be given a link in the documentation that I'm going to provide. You're going to paste that URL down here where it says additional board manager URLs. So I already have it there. I'm going to delete that. I have it already copied in my clipboard, so I'm going to Command V and paste it there. And afterwards, I'm going to press OK. Again, you're going to find that URL in the documentation that I provide. So we're going to go back to Tools, Board, and then Boards Manager. What we're going to look for is seed, but extremely misspelled. There's going to be 3 E's and 1 D. And what we're specifically looking for is, as we scroll down, we are going to be looking for the STM32F4 boards. Now, as you can see right here, it says remove. I've already installed it, but what you'll usually see is like an install right here. So let's see. You see right here, as you can install this one, it would show up similarly right here. You would install it. So click on the install, close it after it installs, and then you would go back up here, go to board, and then go all the way down, and then you'll see this new board called the Wio Tracker LTE. Now you want to next verify that the board shows up over serial. If it doesn't show up, reboot if you haven't already rebooted. And so we're going to go over here on the port. Now, there's 2 ways. Well, actually, there's 3 ways that it could show up. Specifically on Mac, this is how it's going to show up. It's going to be CU.USB modem. It could either be CU or TTY. On Linux, it'll be /dev/TTYACM and then the numbers. On Windows, it'll be a COM with the numbers. So look for those, and those will be the ports that you're looking for. Now we're going to move on to the installing the Breakout SDK. Coming right back into it, here's a GitHub link provided for this Breakout Massive SDK Arduino that Twilio has provided. This link will be provided again in the documentation link that I'll provide. Under assets that you'll see the zip file that's called Breakout Massive SDK Arduino. Click on it and you'll find it in, well, for me, you'll find it in the downloads folder. At this point, you want to go ahead and close your Arduino Ide instance and then open again. We'll let that sit and open up. All right, so we're gonna go to the top left, click on Sketch, then click on or hover over Include Library, and then there's an option for add.zip library. Click on that, and you'll find mine in Downloads. And as you can see, you've already downloaded it. But again, double click this and then choose it. And what you want to do after this is again restart your IDE by closing it and then opening it up again. Whew, that's a lot. Gonna take a little break. And we're back. So we're gonna put our board into bootloader mode, which will allow us to upload our code. We're gonna take it out of the bootloader mode and then allow it to run the code and see some pretty fireworks on our board.
Hey everybody, so on the back you're gonna see boot 0, and on the top side of the board you're gonna see two buttons, power and reset. So to get the board into bootloader mode, you're gonna press boot 0 first and hold it, and then simultaneously you're gonna press reset and hold it. And then the next part of the sequence is you're gonna let go of reset and then let go of boot mode 0. You must do it in this sequence in order for it to get into bootloader mode. So watch my fingers. So I'm gonna hold down boot mode 0, I'm gonna hold down reset, let go of reset, and let go of that one. And now we're in bootloader mode. You'll notice the main light right there is off, and then that one is red.
All right, now that your board is in bootloader mode, go ahead and open up your Arduino IDE and go up to Tools, go to the board and make sure that Wio Tracker LTE is selected. Let's go to File, press New to open up. So in Arduino terms, they call their projects sketches. So if you hear me say sketch, it's just a new project that's being opened up. So I'm gonna provide this code, or I'm not gonna provide this, I'm gonna provide the documentation. Again, this is another thing that you'll find in the documentation. You'll copy paste this code right here into your new sketch. So I'm gonna copy that over. And then what we're gonna do next is we're gonna upload it. So let me go ahead and close that one. This is gonna be our main sketch. We're gonna go up here to Sketch, then click on Upload. Make sure you're not gonna click Upload using Programmer. This is gonna do just upload. So let's click on Upload. I'm not gonna save it for the time being. And then let me expand this so we can see what's going to say. So again, it must be in bootloader mode in order to successfully upload your code. Then we're going to take it out of bootloader mode after it successfully uploads in order to run it. Now, it's going to say some scary stuff. But what you need to pay attention to is that it says file download successfully and then DFU end. If you see DFU util can't detach, reset, or maybe even things that are after the DFU end, like some big explosions, it doesn't necessarily mean that it did not work. So if you see file download successful and DFU end, there's a greater chance that it did work. So don't pay attention too much to the red syntax. What I recommend is if you do see those two indicators, go ahead and just check it if it works. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So how are we going to run this code? I'm going to show you.
So in order to get out of the bootloader mode, we're going to click reset. And as you can see, voila, the lights are flashing. Now back on my screen, we're going to make sure that we're still on our port that we want to be on. But now we're going to click on serial monitor. And as you see, our code is outputting code, or more so text, on the serial monitor every time it flashes. And then our pretty program flashes on the board. So, congrats, we did it. We did our first demo on the narrowband board, and our next activity is going to be much harder, but worthwhile because it'll show you the true capacity of what this board is able to do. So I'll see you in the next portion.
Here we are on Hive MQ's website. They're an enterprise Mqtt broker. What Mqtt is a publish and subscribe messaging protocol that works on top of TCP IP. Why it works so well is because of its portability. Now, if you want to move this into production, I strongly suggest using a private Mqtt server, but for this case, we're going to use HiveMQ. In this demo, I was provided a host as well as a username and password, but everything else like port, client ID, keep alive, and the others, I'm going to leave as default. So let's go ahead and connect. And there we are. Now let's move to the right. Under subscriptions, you're going to see add new topic subscription. For your topic, it could be unique, or it has to be unique. You wanted to keep it unique, around 10 to 12 characters. I'll put my username, and the hashtag means that you're going to subscribe to all messages to that unique name. So for my instance, it's going to be the username. So let's subscribe, keep this default at 2. Now, to see if this works, here in the topic, I've already filled that out. I put again my unique string, which is my username, and then I put info afterwards. Keep that QoS as 0, and then the message I put hello world. You can put anything, and if you click publish, you should see it come up under messages. In this step, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the Arduino Ide on your computer, and we're going to install the Mqtt library for the Arduino Ide. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the tools and then manage libraries. And that should come up in a second. There it is. And in your library manager, we're going to click on filter your search. And we're going to type in PAHO. And there it is. First result will be Arduino Mqtt, and that's the one that I want you to install. As you can see, I've already installed it. Once you install it, you want to get Arduino Mqtt version 1.5.1 or better. I have 1.51 installed, so that one is good. So now we're going to connect the button to the kit.
I'm going to quickly demonstrate plugging in the push button. So where you want to plug it into is D38, and that'll be near the top of the board right there. So let's go ahead and plug that baby in. And yeah, until you can't push anymore.
And so now we're gonna move on to getting some sample code and connecting our board to the Mqtt broker. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up to Arduino, or is it gonna be files? Yeah, so we're gonna go up to file and then go down to examples, go all the way down to, let's see which one it's gonna be. All right, so we're gonna go down to Breakout Massive SDK, Arduino library, scroll over to Alpha, and we're gonna click on sample. So as you can see, this brought up my pre-existing sample. But actually, let me check if my credentials are in here so you don't see my credentials. Let's see. Config. Perfect. My credentials are not in there. All right, so let me bring this back on screen. So what we're gonna do, and this will be laid out better on the documentation. I just wanted to create this video so you have a live demonstration of someone going through this code and seeing if there's any errors, and then maybe cross-checking with your code. So what we're gonna do is go back to the main sample, and you're gonna see these three lines of code. Some of them may already not be commented out, but try to match it up to where sample button.h is actually uncommented out, and comment out temperature and ultrasonic. Now let's go to the config.h, and what you're gonna have to do is you've got to change the host name, leave the port name as is. You gotta change the client ID name, the published topic, and state topic. State topic is gonna be that random string that you created. For me, it was my user ID. For this one is the user ID. Here, what you're gonna do is your user ID or your username dash AlphaKit. This will be username, and then here will be username, and then this is going to be the IP address that you set. Also, the IP for this example will be the IP address that I set, and this will be 1883, which may be a little contradictory. I know I set it to 8,000 on the website, but that's because as it is, it's a website, so it needs to go through port 8,000, while this one's going to be going through my board, so we're going to keep that as 1883. And as you can see in the string, that's a little bit more explanation as to why it is 1883. So we're going to change that, and a little bit off screen. The next thing that you would want to do is scroll down. Where is it going to be at? Define username. There it is. So what you want to find is define username password, as you can see on this screen, and you're gonna find that you're gonna find it as commented out. What you want to do is actually uncomment it. That'll allow you to use the username password. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill out my information. And then I'm going to come back to this screen, upload it, show you what it looks like, the errors that they might potentially give, which may seem like errors that are not errors, and then I'm going to show you what the final product looks like. So we'll be back in a second. All right, so let me rewind it back. Yesterday I was attempting to connect to Hive MQ, but it seems like the server has been shut down. Twilio provided a test server, and well, my development board was not picking it up. So another really cool handy Mqtt server that I found, I was kind of digging around into kind of reputable cloud Mqtt servers, and voila, there was one that's called cloudmqtt.com. So you go there, they have a nice free service, so you don't have to enter any sort of credentials. And when I say credentials, I mean credit card information. You still have to, create a username, password, and go through that. But I'm going to show you how to now go through your code and input it specifically for Cloud Mqtt. So you see the website right here, cloudmqtt.com. To the left, you'll see details. Details is where you're going to get the information that I'm going to show you in the Arduino Ide that you need. I'm not going to click on that because it has some private information, including my password, but I will bring up my code in the Arduino Ide where I did insert it. So let's go over here. So as you can see, for the host, it changed over to cloudmqtt.com. Mine says Soldier. I think this will vary by person. That can also be found in details on Cloud Mqtt. It'll be one of the first items that you'll see. Also, the broker port has also changed, and that will also be found in details. You'll be given 3 different ports in the details page. Click or actually copy the first port. The other 2 are for different parameters, including TLS. And then you'll also find your username and password. For client ID, again, is going to be your username -alphakit. Publish topic will be username/data. State topic, username/state. Now, if I'm correct, you can just put any random string where I put my username, but for this demo, I'm just gonna put my username. And then right there at that code, you'll see Mqtt login. That's where your username must be inserted. And right below that is where your password is inserted as well. So same way that way. So, but all the same steps and modifications, again, uncommon sample button, and the other modifications that I described before I was trying to get HiveMQ to work. So let's go ahead and see if this can work. I'm gonna put this in bootloader mode. All right, let's. So, the light has been going off for my bootloader mode, and I cannot explain it quite yet as to why it does disappear. It does seem like it turned off, but I've been uploading nevertheless, and it's been uploading successfully. Also, it does disappear here in the tools, like it won't show up in the port. But as you can see right here on my screen, it's done uploading. And yes, so right here it will say the board at this port is not available. But nevertheless, if I just press reset, it actually successfully uploaded. As you can see, the light turns yellow. That means it's now searching. Let's go to serial monitor. And yeah, there's our code. So what it's gonna do is it's gonna sit there and try to connect. The Cloud Mqtt, I've witnessed takes a little bit longer to connect to versus when I did the demo at Twilio. So I'm just gonna let this sit for a little bit, fast forward till it registers, so hang on tight. All right, so it is connected now, and let me bring this up. So here is the serial monitor, and the Arduino loop has started. And as you can see on the screen, button is not currently pressed.
I actually pushed the button earlier to test it out if seeing if it's work. And let me scroll over to Cloud Mqtt. Here it is, it's pressed. So let me go ahead and do a live demonstration for you. So here's the button, let's press this. And on the screen, you saw that it sent data over TCP on socket 0. Let's scroll over here and bam, immediately got it. So that's the first one. So let's move on. The next demo is gonna be really cool. It's gonna be sending messages from Cloud Mqtt to the Arduino so that the light changes. So let's get into that.
Awesome. Now we're back and we're gonna start part 2 of the final step in this tutorial. And what we're gonna do is now, instead of sending the message from the Arduino to the Cloud Mqtt, we're gonna send a message from the Cloud Mqtt to the Arduino. So, and it should change the color of the LED based on what you send from the Cloud Mqtt. So this is gonna be pretty cool. And this time we're just gonna be copying down code, not too much like inserting any more credentials. This is just placing already typed code into where it needs to go. So again, you'll find this code in the documentation that I will provide. Just follow it stepwise, and towards the end, this is where you're gonna find the code that you insert. Or if you just want to pause a YouTube video and type it all out, you can do that as well. So here, in this first 2 lines, include seed WS2812. And we're gonna copy that and we're gonna place that right above mqtt.h. That's where that first line of code is gonna go. And then this second block right here, pin mode. So actually, you see where mine is tutorial. That's your main file. Yours may be called sample, but it's that original file. That's where you insert seed and this command right here. So the next one that we're going to edit is we're going to scroll down and we're going to go into the setup, and let's give it a few spaces, and we're going to paste this. All right, that's the second one, and here's the last block that we need to paste in. This block right here is going to take in the message string that you send from Cloud Mqtt. So here you can see red, and this will tell the Arduino to change the colors of its LED to the color red, and so on and so forth, green, yellow, teal, purple. So just copy that, and we're gonna go to, which one? We're gonna go to the mqtt.h file. So what you're gonna look for, and you can Control F to look for this, but you're gonna look for device state callback. But I believe you're gonna find 2 instances of this because they reference it at the top right here. So don't be confused, they'll reference it right here, but the one that you're looking for is the actual function right here towards the bottom. And what you want to do is either delete this and paste it. What I'm just gonna do is I'm gonna select it and just paste it in its place. But you're supposed to delete that one line and then place this big block of code. Again, you're gonna get this code in the documentation, or if you want to, you could type this all out by pausing the YouTube video. So this should be all the edits that you need to do for this next step. And let's go ahead and upload it. All right, so I just turned off my Arduino, so let me go ahead and plug the battery up.
All right, as you can see over here, it is connected. The LED has turned on for this one. The Arduino loop has started, and let's go back to our Cloud Mqtt. So what your topic is going to be is the random string, or in my case, the username / state. This was put in your code as to your state, in which that'll receive where it will receive the message. So let's type in red, send it over, and there we go. As you can see on the screen, set color to red, it received it, and right there.
Thank you for watching this video. As you can see, there was a lot of debugging and still little quirks and a lot of stuff for me to learn about this product. But I'm really glad to be one of the first developers to be able to get hands-on with this new narrowband developer board kit and see the true potential that it has. So also, since this is one of my first videos, if you have any feedback, criticism, please let me know. Don't be a little too harsh, but I am looking for some feedback as to maybe explaining my code a little bit more, things that I need to say, maybe shortening the video. Just let me know in the comments or let me know in a private message. Thank you.